Yo, what is going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today's video, I'm tier listing and going through all the previous iterations of the Conquest map from the preseason, the beta, and then season 1 all the way up to season 11. I'm kind of squishing a few of them together because the difference between season 2, 3, and 4 is very minimal. The difference between 5, 6, and 7, very minimal. 8 and 9, very minimal. 10 and 11, very minimal. So I'm going to be talking just about those maps in general, and not really the meta, just more so how I felt about the game at that time. Did I like the map? Did I like playing around stuff on the map? All that good stuff. Starting with the OG map. This is actually the only one that I never played. I don't really know anything about it. I don't really remember much about it. The only thing that I know for sure about this map is when they brought it back, I played it a little bit. And yeah, it was an OG map for a reason. I think the side jungles were meh at best. The fire camp area was meh at best. Same with the Gold Fury. It was very weird. You had like your own personalized mid camps. Overall, I didn't love it, but I never really played it, so I don't really have the nostalgia towards it. It's probably my least favorite of all the maps, so I'm starting with that one in D, but it's only up from here, trust. And this is the Smite preseason map. It's a lot like the OG map. The big difference is they shaved off the sides, and if you can see just how thin this map is, it was very short from mid lane to either side lane, or even side lane to side lane. A few of the buffs were also mixed up. It was fine. Again, the early maps were really good basics, but there was not a lot of good fluff to them. The game back then was also very basic, so the basicness of it was, I mean, fine, but again, it's not a map that I'm too nostalgic for. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I missed this time of Smite. It goes how it goes. I'm putting this one in C. The season 1 map, pretty interesting map. Very interesting map. It was very dark. The Gold Fury was a semi-pit. The Fire Giant was still pretty much a pit. This was a fun map to watch and to play, but I don't think this map was nearly as bad as those first two maps. It was a very, again, basic map. Not a ton of things to do. Solo lane was not the most exciting. You did have some pretty unique gods played over here. Some Bakas, stuff like that. The season 1 map is the best map that we've seen so far, but nothing about it is all too great. We're sticking this in the B tier. Going to the map farthest away from the season 1 iteration, but still was pretty close to it, is the season 4 map. This was my first year competing. It was a lot of fun. I have a lot of nostalgia towards this map. A lot of invades, boots rush in duo lane. This was the introduction of the portal demon, which actually turned into the pyromancer, I think, or maybe it was called something else, which then eventually turned into the pyromancer. But this was the most OP iteration of it. Basically, you killed this monster and you were actually able to teleport from your base to this spot. It was so OP for lane map, or for map pressure in the late game. Gold Fury, again, very good in the early game, but it didn't really scale as well. Started adding a lot of contestable objectives with these little imp things. Both mid camps were very contested. This was a fun map, but I don't think it's any better than the season 1 map. It stayed pretty much the same. It's just a slightly brighter of the season 1. Again, nothing too upsetting about it, but I really didn't like it that much. The next one is the Conquest season 5 map, and another just addition to this map. This was the invade meta season, and this was a great season to be a part of. It wasn't, again, that great. I think it had some positives. They finally changed out the portal demon, which was good because portal demon is OP, but they removed the imps. They removed like another thing to fight over in the early game, and they didn't really replace it with very much. So really all you could really do is invade. I think this map was almost a step back. It was a step forward in terms of it was a new map, and they also made it wider, but removing those imps removed a part of that early game that I think was a little bit of a miss. I think this is another B, another side grade. Better because they made it thicker, but they did not make it as good as it could have been. Next up is the Conquest Season 8 map, and this was my favorite iteration of any map ever. I can tell you right now, S tier. What a fantastic map this was. They improved it a little bit more into season 9, but multiple things that I liked about this map. They made it wider, which is, again, a positive. A whole lot of things to contest. I can't even remember the name of this guy, but when you killed him, he made your towers tankier. You had these things, scorpions to kill. You had one of them in solo lane. You had a totem to contest. a bunch of these little harpy things to just kill for extra farm. Or maybe these were these were Nagas, I think, and then these were scorpions. And if you killed these, it would power up your own camps. It was such a awesome map, like idea that Hi-Rez had. Something for dual lane to fight over. Solo lane still had the pyromancer. The mid camps were a lot better. There were so many positives of this map. Season 9 was another one that was really good. So season 8 and 9 together, S tier. Nothing about season 8 that I liked more than season 9. They were both really good maps. The biggest difference between season 8 and season 9 was adding the totems that gave you that scepter. I wasn't a big fan of scepter because I thought it was so OP. But season 8, season 9, both together, phenomenal. The downside of season 9 is we got 9.5, but it's gone now. The downside of season 8 is there was no 9.5, which is awesome, which means there was no downside. And lastly, the current map we are playing on. Hi-Rez has gotten to a point where the map is good. Playing around on this map is phenomenal. The cooldown and the shield buff, both together, awesome. Totem is in a newer spot. These little flower things that you can get are really good. There's not too much stuff on the map to kind of make you dizzy. Having BDK here, while OP, is a nice change. I like the Fire Giant Pit. I like the Gold Fury Pit is a little bit more open. I still think there's just too many buffs on the map. I don't know why there's 5. I wish some of these, like the green buff, I think should just be gone. I think speed buff should just be gone. I mean, you could even get rid of purple buff too, or keep speed in red or something. I think there's too many maps. I don't know, or too many buffs. I don't know why every role needs a buff. That's one of the few things to Smite I don't love. But either way, I love this map. It's great. It is not S tier, but I think it is an A tier map. It is a step back from the S tier of season 8, season 9, because they removed a lot of the early game like fight potential. Like there was a lot of things that used to be able to fight over and contest and to kind of like different ways to play the map early game. Now there's not a ton, but it's still a good time. It's still a good map. No huge disagreements with it, but it's just not nearly as good as season 8 and season 9. And there it is, my tier list of the maps. Let me know what you guys think. What is your guys' favorite map that you've played on, or what is your favorite season of Smite that you played on? Because as I said, mine, season 8, season 9, I think both like kind of tied together. I would probably slightly give it to season 8. Even though I like season 9's map more, there was no 9.5 to deal with. So I'll say season 8's my favorite map. Let me know what you guys is down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have all understood today. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.